Hi. So hopefully you're getting a lot of good practice in the middle of the bow, really finding the square, opening and closing the elbow, making a good healthy sound in that scrubby area. And now we need to move on. We need to learn how to play at the other parts of the bow. The tip, okay, this is the tip of the bow, and at the frog. In fact, we call this whole area down here the frog. So being able to play comfortably in those parts of the bow so that we can eventually master the whole bow stroke, because it's in that whole, utilizing the whole bow is where we really start to sound like violinists. We have that lyrical quality. So that's what we're trying to achieve. But we need to still break it down into parts because there's a lot of things to understand about the movement of using the whole bow. So we're going to start by working at the tip. And again, I'm just going to keep bringing these same principles up. It's the same principles of path, trajectory of the bow, the geometry of our stance, and how our body is positioned in space. So again, just reviewing, we're just going to get set up again, find your angles, and now we're going to move the bow to the tip, okay? And what you're going to find, and what I want you to really be aware of, is the stretch, okay? Now our arms, okay, you're going to feel a good stretch, and you're going to feel it all the way from your back, down through the arm, all the way to your fingertips. Okay, so this stretch is something that doesn't feel quite natural. Okay, so what tends to happen is the bow will want to go out to the side, and then the bow goes crooked, the tip falls toward the scroll, and then your tone will suffer. So I made a little, what I call the straight bow simulator. In fact, as preschool as this looks, it really takes no time to make. It's just 2 paper towel holders, and you don't have to cover yours in duct tape. I did just so it was less unsightly for the camera and demonstration. And I just got a rubber band and I just double looped it over the 2 pieces, and you can see how I positioned the one going across. This is so that, you know, when we simulate the straight bow, I can get closer to the frog. And then the long piece, this is the violin, and I have mine to about the length for the correct sounding point. Now I play on a slightly smaller size violin, I play on a 7/8 size violin. So for full size instruments, you could scoot this down a little closer to the edge. And it doesn't have to be exact. The main thing is it's just a really handy little device to really get the feel of the straight bow. Okay, so get your bow. Okay, and we're going to insert bow into the tube and put it up against your neck, okay, and make sure you have the right angle so you're pointing, so that this pretend violin is pointing sort of that northwest corner, and then just bow here at the tip. And what is nice about this is that it's taking the stress away from making sounds right now, from really having to make the right kind of tone, and it's just allowing you to key in to the movement, to the trajectory, to the path of the bow, to feel what the body does, and to really get used to that so that when you are playing, you can simulate yourself the feeling. So as you extend, really pay attention to what's going on with your back, okay? Particularly the right shoulder blade, which pulls out, it pulls away, it extends away from the spine, okay? Like it's a wing. The wing is stretching. Now, if you were to go sideways, the wrong way, and the nice thing about this is you can feel the wrong way, but I'm just going to turn this way just to illustrate the point. But if you are bowing this way, okay, then you can feel the shoulder blade doing something different. It actually pinches and comes in, it contracts, comes in toward the spine. So really getting these angles correct and really bowing straight, you really have an extension. Okay, so as you're bowing, you know, effortlessly here at the tip, also take a look at, feel what's happening with the fingers and the wrist. The wrist is very bent. The fingers have a natural lengthening to them. What you want to make sure that doesn't what you want to make sure doesn't happen is that your pinky becomes straight and locked, because it's at this point when playing at the tip that sometimes that pinky starts to lock, and then when we go toward the frog, it doesn't unlock. It doesn't reassume its curved position. So when you're at the tip, just keep that pinky very light and loose, and it's just barely going to touch the stick, but it's still very relaxed. Okay, so do this a couple times. Your arm will be burning. Okay, you're going to feel a stretch, and now you can get the violin and do the same thing. Okay, so now we're really going to play at the tip. So I'm going to put my bow about 6 inches from the tip, and then I'm going to make sure I've got that good grit. I'm grabbing the string with the bow, and then I'm just going to extend, open my elbow, extend out. Okay, feel what happens in the back. And I'm just going to push out and rebound back. Now, if you did this, if you did make your little simulator with the paper towel rolls, you'll notice that a lot of your rosin has been wiped off. I'm noticing that. So you might want to re-rosin. But just play at the tip. Make many bow strokes here so that you can really, really, again, just establish the angle and the feel of reaching out with your right arm, okay? And now we're going to go back to the middle, okay, and we're going to go from the middle all the way to the tip. So now we want to start here, and we're going to go all the way. So we really open the elbow, we reach out, and once we come back to the middle, okay, we want to make sure that our bow hold has completely regained its positioning. It has reassumed the proper bow hold, because what can happen is when you're at the tip and the fingers get long, that they stay long, and then when you come back to the frog, they don't curve, they don't go back to that nice bow hold where the fingers are curved and laying over the stick, the pinky is bent, okay? So really pay attention to that bow hold. Keep monitoring that. Don't let that slip, okay? I can't stress it enough, because even if you've established a really nice bow hold, there are so many opportunities to learn bad habits along the way. So the only way to keep from learning bad habits is just to constantly be aware. So now we're just going to make those bow strokes, and then I do have a guided practice for just playing at the tip. Okay, so practice with that video.